reading from the New Testament. This comes from the Gospel according to St. John. Jesus told his friends, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. But if it dies, it produces much fruit. Whoever loves his life loses it. Whoever hates his life in this world will preserve it for life eternal. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there also will my servants be. The Father will honor whoever serves me. I am troubled now, yet what should I say? Father, save me from this hour. But it was for this purpose that I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from the heavens, "I have glorified it, and it will be glorified again." The readings I chose for Bill's funeral liturgy, I think, relate somewhat to the life he had. Certainly a good dad to his daughters. And as I said, we just celebrated the funeral liturgy for his wife a few months ago, Marge. And I would imagine, those of you that, of course, married, and Bill and Marge married for over 50 years, 54 years, had a great life together. I'm sure there was not only the missing of Marge, but also not only dealing with cancer, but also the brokenness of a heart when you lose a loved one that you've spent so much time with for so many years. Bill was certainly a faithful employee of his places he worked, Pam Oil, and the places that he would be involved, not only in the city of Brandon, but any place that he would be of people that he would meet throughout his work, and also the way that he interacted, especially with the veterans that he had such a love for because of his own military service. In Brandon for many years, through the loyalty parade and also the ways he would be there for the flag ceremonies and the football games at Brandon and various activities. That was an important part of his life, because not only he himself as a veteran, but he had a real respect for those that served their country. That's why the flag here is placed upon his casket, of course, and as we end our liturgy here, the funeral home will have the military rites that we can do here inside for Bill because of his deep love and respect for veterans, and he himself, his service to our country. As we heard from the Old Testament, there was, even before the time of Jesus, a thought that there had to be something more to life than just what we see physically in our bodies, because basically when we have a person that is deceased, a lot of things look the same, except something is gone from us. We, of course, now as Christians believe that's our soul, our spirit, that's given to us at the time we're conceived, that lives forever. But the Old Testament, before the time of Jesus, didn't have that understanding yet. But even then, in common sense, they believed there had to be more, because there just seemed like it wasn't enough that this person that looked very similar to before he died, when his spirit left him. And then the gospel reading, Jesus, as he's preparing for his death, said that he would be glorified again by the Father in heaven, and then promised that same glorification to all of us who are of faith, that that's really our promise too, that we can be glorified at the time of our death. Of course, in my occupation as a priest, I've had that opportunity to be with a number of people in my years of priesthood that were breathing their last breaths, and it's amazing how often they will kind of open their eyes, and even sometimes, even though they weren't able to move their hands or arms very much, they have like an uplifting spirit when their last breath comes. It's almost if, and of course I believe, that they see a glimpse of heaven, and they see a glimpse of what's to be, sure there is, like will be for all of us when that time comes for us, a sadness that we're leaving the earth and the people we love. There's also that joy that they experience, and it seems like, and some have even said to me before they die, that they get a glimpse of their loved ones. And probably that's what Bill received on his last day, when he got a glimpse again of his wife and of his parents and those that have gone before him. There's always sadness in our own hearts, because as you have for the pictures that you have of your dad and the way that he touched, of course, his kids' lives, but also his great love for the grandkids and even the great-grandchildren that were so much a part of his life. The beautiful picture you have on the front of your memorial card for your dad reflects so much of what he loved: outdoors, hunting, the ways that he would spend time doing that, the love that he had for kind of just what we might consider really basic things in life, but so important to us, and the ways that we interact with family and friends, and the ways that we appreciate nature, the great gifts that God has given us through creation that Bill certainly enjoyed throughout his life. Yes, there's sadness in parting, we know that, and we know that certainly it's part of our lives that we lose loved ones, but then those memories become important, and especially as we gather to pray not only for Bill's repose of his soul forever in heaven, but pray that we too will one day join our friends that have gone before us into eternal rest. And so we thank God for his life, for the way that he enjoyed it with you people here, the way that he certainly was a great example of a person that loved his family, loved his country, and loved those that he could help then after he returned from military service, that those that were coming back, veterans, especially those that were experiencing difficulties in their lives, whether that be physical or mental difficulties, that he was so in tune with. As a commander of the veterans of foreign wars, and the ways that he would deal with that in his own leadership responsibilities, and the love he had for those people. And so that's a great example that he's left to all of us, our service not only to those around us that in our country that have served us in military service, but our ways in which we hope we're serving others in the ways that we respond by our gifts to help others in need. Now listen to another song that, is one of the themes that was so often in the Old Testament, especially the book of the prophet Isaiah, when they looked up to the mountains and sometimes saw the clouds over the mountains, but even high above the mountains, where they believed that the God was there present among them. So listen to that song that we will now hear, reminding us of heaven and the great life that we have